All right, good people. We got a good one. We got a good one. Had a request to talk about starting an emergency fund, okay? Starting an emergency fund, kind of like a step by step guide, right quick, okay? So, what I'm gonna do is kind of quickly and briefly walk you through getting started with your emergency fund. And as always, I got my trusty list here. So, let's go on down this list and let me give you the ideas that we use and things that we thought of when we started our emergency fund. So, first thing is you need to determine your needs. Determine your needs. You need to assess your expenses, calculate your monthly fixed expenses and your variable cost, okay? Your fixed are things the cost never changes, It pretty much stays the same for the year. It costs $10 to have this particular subscription, right? And that pretty much lasts for the year. Your variable costs are things like your light bill, your water bill, things that kind of fluctuate. Try to gauge and get an idea of what the average cost of that. And what I like to do is probably look over the last year, no less than 6 months, and try to get you an average cost of your variable things, such as like your utilities or what, okay? So find that out. Then identify potential emergencies. So when my wife and I were thinking about emergency fund, we were thinking about what could happen along the way. And so small emergencies is what we call them, small emergencies. Things like we need a new set of tires or a tire blows out, right? Or we need to get something fixed on the car. So we started thinking about, man, what if we need to get 4 new tires? That could run anywhere from $600 plus, right? Or what if we need to get something fixed on the car? What do you think you should save for that? Not only you can determine this, and because you know if your car still has a warranty, if your car doesn't have a warranty, you need to look at stuff like that. So potential emergencies that could rise up, potential medical emergencies or doctor's appointments that you have to go to all of a sudden because you got ill or something. So kind of think of potential emergencies that could pop up while you're saving for that, because you want to put that in the equation as to how much money you put in your emergency fund, okay? And last but not least, set a goal. Set a goal. Now, normally you hear you need to save 3 to 6 months of living expenses. I personally say you need to save 9 to 12 months. 9 to 12 months worth of expenses, okay? If you can do it, look at your mortgage and see how much can you save from that. And what I mean is, if your mortgage is $1,500 a month, just for math purposes right now, then you will look at saving $18,000, right? Or $15,000 for 10 months, or $18,000 for 12 months, if you could do it. Or say to yourself, hey, we're going to save at least 3 months of mortgage, right? That would be $4,500 if your mortgage was $1,500, all right? But that's if you consider that your small emergency fund. Some say save $1,000. That's your small emergency fund. Guys, let's be honest. It's very rare emergencies cost $1,000. Usually emergencies cost a little bit more than that. But if you're someone who says, I cannot swing that, then whatever you could save, $100 a month, $50 a month, whatever you can save to put toward that emergency fund is great, because we don't know when that emergency is coming, right? And we hope it doesn't come at all. But we want to make sure you make it a habit of sending money to your emergency fund. And that leads me to another point. Make sure you choose a bank or decide where you're going to put this money. And it's extremely important that you do not touch your emergency fund unless you have to touch it, okay? It has to be an emergency, and you have to determine what is considered an emergency. To some folks, 4 tires, you need 4 new tires, it costs $800. You're tight on money that month, that is an emergency, okay? So, but you have to make your rules. What is an emergency to my family, okay? You need to set a saving schedule. If you have automatic deposit, talk with your bank and say, hey, when I get paid, please could you send $5, $10, $50, $100 over to this particular savings account, and you know that is your fund. If you don't do direct deposit, start thinking about after you cash your check to make sure that you make it a habit to physically put that money in that savings account that you have. And if you have a safe at home, okay, if you have a safe at home, make sure that you put that money that you have allocated to the side every month in that safe. It's important to keep a schedule, okay? Again, $5, $10, $50, $500 a month, whatever you have to do, reach that goal and put it in your emergency fund. Remember that building an emergency fund takes time and discipline, okay? Building an emergency fund takes time and discipline. Stay committed, because let me tell you, when that emergency pops up, you're going to be so glad you put money aside, because now you're not scrambling and trying to figure out how are we going to pay to get this car fixed? How are we going to pay to get these new tires? How are we going to pay to fix the air conditioning? How are we going to pay to fix the water heater? You've already set a plan in motion to get started on those things. And it keeps you from having to use your credit card to pay for it. You can pay in cash and not run up the bill on that credit card. So I hope this helps out. Get started on your emergency fund as soon as possible. Talk with your partner if you have one, your wife, or if you're by yourself, make a commitment. Set times, dates, and goals, and decide how much you're going to put in your emergency fund by looking at all of your bills and coming up with a plan. This is what it costs me monthly to survive, and decide, hey, I'm going to save up 3 months, 6 months, and my suggestion, 9 to 12 months if you can do it. Hey, if you like what we got going on here at Debt Free Pipkins, like and subscribe. And as always, leave a comment below. Peace.